see the sign before you came in about abandoned all hope?
I ignored it. I can't read, so. Nose to the grindstone.
Okay, we'd like to welcome everyone here to the Planning Commission meeting for the City of Orem. I've asked Mr. Walker to offer an invocation for us.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful to be here this day at this Orem City Planning meeting. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to participate in planning of this city and to be able to discuss the needs and different plans that are being presented. Father, we ask thee to bless that we might have thy Spirit to be here with us, that we might be able to have an open mind and be able to talk frankly with one another and be civil and understand each other's concerns. Father, we're grateful for the many blessings we enjoy. We're thankful for this beautiful city in which we live and grateful for that opportunity. And say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. I'll just remind everyone that this is being broadcast live on YouTube. And let's go ahead and begin with item 3.1.
Our first item, 3.1, is a plat amendment of Lydia's Place subdivision, Plat B, at 152 West, 800 South in the R8 zone. The applicant is Doug Tullis, but something to note is that due to a computer error on our side, the notifications went out with the applicant name of Don Hatch. So there might have been some confusion there, but the time and address of the meeting and all of that important stuff was correct. It was just a confusion on our part on who the applicant was. So here's the zoning map. On the left and on the right is a close-up of the current lots. The kind of teal color are the current lot lines, and then the red line is the proposed line separating the two. So you can see that the line between the two lots is just being moved up slightly. Here is what the plat will look like. This is the one that you guys are voting on. You can see all of the easements and everything remain the same. It is simply the lot line that is moving. The Development Review Committee determined that this request complies with the Orem City Code and recommends that the Planning Commission approve the proposed plat amendment of Lydia's Place subdivision Plat B. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Haycock?
The turnaround, is it going to move also?
No.
Okay. It'll stay where it is. Okay.
Okay. Is the applicant present? Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Mr. Dudley? Okay, anyone have questions they would like to ask?
The reason for the movement was to gain a bigger lot for a 2-story dwelling. Is that what?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So in order to build a 2-story dwelling in a flag lot, your lot needs to be at least 15,000 square feet. Currently it is not, but the movement of the lot line will grant them that 15,000.
Seems pretty sensible.
Okay. This item is a public hearing, so we'll go ahead and open the public hearing and invite anyone who would like to speak to this item to please step to the microphone and state your name. And seeing no one stepping to the microphone, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission. Any other questions or discussion? Anyone ready to make a motion?
I'll make the motion. I move that we approve the proposed plat amendment of Lydia's Place subdivision Plat B.
And we need to vacate lots 2 and 3 of Lydia's Place subdivision.
It wasn't on there.
It's on the.
Oh, it's on the
It's on
original.
this one.
Okay, let me go back and amend my. I move that we approve the vacation of lots 2 and 3 of Lydia's Place subdivision Plat A and approve the final plan of Lydia's Place subdivision Plat B located at 152 West, 800 South in the R8 zone.
Mr. Cochran has made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Ms. Jeffries seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 3.2.
Item 3.2 is a site plan approval of Utah Valley Self-Storage located at 243 South Geneva Road in the M2 zone. You can see the zoning map on the left, and then on the right is the overhead image. The two pieces that fit together are the lots where the site plan is showing, and the lot highlighted on the bottom is their current space, and they just plan to increase their business size so that it covers all 3 of those areas. So here's their proposed site plan. You can see that the existing office building on those top lots will remain, and they are basically just going to add more buildings with storage in them, and they will go along with the 3 existing storage buildings on the bottom. So here's their landscaping plan. All they are required to do by ordinance is the area along the street that isn't being used for parking, and they are doing that. So once again, the Development Review Committee determined that this request complies with the Orem City Code and recommends the Planning Commission approve the proposed site plan for Utah Valley Self-Storage.
Okay, any questions? I have one. If you go back, it shows an 8-foot block wall across the front there. Does that go all the way around, or is that just on the front of the fence there? 8-foot CMU fence.
I believe it goes all the way around, but that is something that I would ask the applicant.
Okay. Yeah. Other questions? Okay. If you'd like to step to the microphone and respond to that. Could you give us your name?
My name is Blake Golding, and I represent the applicant Gus Schultz. And that CMU wall just runs along the front of the new landscaping area there. And
So is there an existing fence around the back, or is that?
around the back, yes, and
Okay.
that will remain.
And that remains. Thank you. Are there any other questions for the applicant?
That small piece that's behind the southern portion right there, or the existing, is that owned by somebody else, or is?
No, all the units will be owned by the same.
Okay, what I mean is, yeah, the units will be owned by the same person, but there's a small piece that's behind the existing one. Just that small piece of property. You can point.
Oh, that's the Union Pacific right of way.
Oh, still back there. Okay. Yeah, just the way it jogged,
Yeah.
because the other one should have Union
And
Pacific.
we actually have the same right of way, and you'll see that we build up to that right of way for the.
Yeah. Okay. So that'll be existing. Okay. That's all. Just curious.
Any other questions? Thank you. Appreciate that. Any other discussion? This is a site plan approval, so the Planning Commission is the approving agency. No other questions? Anyone like to make a motion?
I'll do that. I move that we approve the proposed site plan of Utah Valley Self-Storage at 243 South Geneva Road in the M2 zone.
Ms. Buxton has made a motion. I will second the motion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 3.3.
Item 3.3 is another site plan approval. This is of the Delta V Industrial Park at 1600 West and 400 South in the M2 zone. Once again, you can see the zoning map on the left, and that is the piece that has recently changed zones that you guys voted to approve on. And then on the left, you can see the overhead. It is kind of an odd-shaped piece located between two railroad lines. So here is their full site plan. It includes both the Phase 1 and the Phase 2 future development. Here's the close-up of the Phase 1 that they are hoping to work on as soon as this gets approved. This is also the landscaping plan, and it meets all of our current landscaping ordinances. This is what the front of the buildings will look like, although, of course, the height will vary depending on which building it is. And so once again, the Development Review Committee has determined that this request complies with the Orem City Code, and we recommend that the Planning Commission approve the proposed site plan for the Delta V Industrial Park.
So even though the plan that you showed shows both phases, we're just considering Phase 1 today. Is that correct?
I believe that you are considering both. However, Phase 2 is a little bit more fluid because it's future development.
Just Phase 1.
Okay.
Phase 1.
So they'd be required to resubmit for Phase 2, architecturals and landscape, and meet the parking requirements. Okay.
Okay. Any questions that anyone has for Ms. Haycock?
Yeah, is the fenced compound area part of Phase 1, or is that future?
One right here.
I assume that they're going to store.
I believe that's all part of Phase 2.
Okay.
Because the retention basin is also part of Phase 2.
Okay.
So how is the drainage being handled for Phase 1?
It is going towards.
Is it underground?
To an extent, it is going towards the 400 South side, and there are some facilities over there that should be able to manage it.
Probably right there.
So that whole back half then is Phase 2, or that back portion? Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? Is the applicant present? Yes. Is there anything you'd like to add, or?
No.
Can you give us your name?
It's Mark Warren.
Okay. Thank you. Any other discussion, questions, or comments?
I just had a question about accessing that back part. Is that just through the middle there?
Yes.
In between the landscaping?
Yeah.
That they would be able to go all the way to the back. Okay, thanks.
Did we answer the drainage question?
She said there
On the current?
Do you have the answer to that? Please.
Oh, Mr. Dudley.
Phase one will come forward to Fourth and be detained in the planting areas along Fourth, and it's going to then be piped across into an existing Orem City storm drain on the north side of Fourth. The grading and drainage is not here, but basically the detention will be in the landscaped areas.
There it is.
And there'll be curb gutter and sidewalk placed along Fourth.
Is it the upper section near the Denver Rio Grande line? Is that what we're saying? Okay, it's going that way.
That's what.
No, I think that's just the low place, isn't it? Because that's on the railroad.
Well, and that's what they're after. But he's saying it is going towards the Denver Rio Grande line, which would be the east.
It'll drain
northeast,
north, and then west, and will be carried
it's down there.
Across Fourth to the north side where there's an existing storm drain.
So it's down over here.
It's down near the UP tracks then.
Yeah.
Union
It
Pacific.
won't let me zoom in anymore, but there is going to be a pipe that goes over and enters our storm, the Orem City storm drain system over there.
Okay.
Another place to avoid.
And there is an irrigation pipe that goes across the front of this property. That's not being affected at all.
No, it's been there. It's a pretty good big system, and will remain as it is. We may adjust the elevations of the boxes to meet the landscaping and other things, but for the most part, it will be under.
Okay.
Is there an easement that exists for that line? Is anybody aware?
I don't know if there's formally one or not.
Okay.
Probably not. But.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
I think it's just a typo. But on our sheet where it says request, it says the C2 zone on here, and above it says M2 zone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go back to the first slide.
So if you look at the body of our notes,
Yeah, we changed that to the M2.
It's an M2, yes.
too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying for our or city records, we probably need to fix that. Typo.
Okay.
It says it on the.
Thank you. All right. Any other discussion? Again, this is a site plan approval. So we are the approving entity. If there's no other questions, would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
We're the approving body, is that correct?
Correct.
We talked about that. I make a motion that we approve the request to the city for the site plan of Delta V Industrial Park at 1600 West, 400 South in Orem in the M2 zone.
Mr. Walker has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Cochran seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 3.4.
All right, item 3.4 is another site plan approval. This is of the Westmore Affordable Senior Housing Fourplex located at 1054 South Main Street in the R8 zone. So once again, on the left, you can see the zoning map, but on the right, you can see the aerial overhead. It is located on Main Street right next to the Westmore City Park. So here is the overall site plan of it. You can see that they have their own private driveway, which goes to parking in the rear. Here is the floor layout plan. There are 4 units with 2 bedrooms each, and each one is at 900 square feet. This is the landscaping plan. All landscaping requirements are met with this plan. This is what it will look like on the outside from the street level. All 4 sides will look the same. Once again, the Development Review Committee has determined that this request complies with the Orem City Code, and we recommend the Planning Commission approve the proposed site plan for the Westmore Ash Fourplex.
Any questions that anyone has for Ms. Bates?
It's my understanding the senior rooms are the apartments are the maximum size available. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, 900 feet is what we talked about.
Yes.
That's nice. Make it as big as you can.
Any other questions? Is the applicant present?
My name is Chase Andrews.
Do you want to step to the microphone? Does anyone?
Is this the cross-examination that we're?
Yes.
No, just kidding. Yeah, it is. Well thought.
We noticed on the, what meeting was that? The neighborhood meeting, that there was a comment about some tree that they wanted removed. Are you just planning on doing new landscaping all across the front there?
Yeah, there's a tree that's kind of right on the property line between my property and the neighbors. It's right on the fence line. It's
Okay.
a big tree that we're trying to figure out if we're going to cut it down or what we're going to.
So it crosses both properties?
Right on the
Is it the one on the south?
North.
It's on the north.
The north.
Okay, that's right, 'cause that's where that other house is.
There's two of them together right there.
Right there, on the front.
That's what it shows. So we don't know, I mean, because you can't make that decision by yourself. It's on property line.
Yeah, we'll probably end up cutting it down. It's an older couple that would like it gone. So
Oh.
They want it gone.
They want it.
I want it down. Where I was like, it kind of looks kind of nice, but we'll see. We'll probably cut it down.
I was just going to ask you who requested it. It's the other property owner. Okay.
That's firewood. You're on.
Just want to say it's a very nice plan and a very nice place. I love it.
Good location.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Comments? Concerns? No.
Is this it? It's not on the, I didn't think it was, yeah.
It should just be a site plan.
Now, this is a site plan review, so the Planning Commission is the approving body. If there are no more questions, would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I move that we approve the request, approve the proposed site plan of the Westmore Affordable Senior Housing Fourplex at 1054 South Main Street in the R8 zone.
R8 Ash, probably we should.
Well, it's in the affordable senior housing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Jeffries has made a motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Iglesias seconds. In favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good.
When do you plan on beginning construction? I mean, it's already approved, but.
Probably within 2 months.
Okay, so you're going to try to do it over?
Yeah, I'll do it for
Okay.
Okay. Do we have to wait till 5 o'clock
For the continuance.
to make the continuance?
Sounds like a question for the attorney.
It does.
Yeah, probably. I'm afraid so.
Break time.
No, we'll do the minutes.
Oh, there you go.
Correct update.
That'll take about 30 seconds.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the meeting on September 6th.
Okay, Mr. Walker has made a motion. I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Can I make another motion that we take a break?
No, we're going to listen to Mr. Director.
Oh, is he going to give us our director's moment or
He is.
minutes or?
We hope so.
Yes, I am excited to do that tonight.
Can you take 7 or 8 minutes?
Boy, I don't know if I can go that long. Well, Mr. Walker, it's been a pleasure having you on the commission. If you think back of all the years you've been on the commission, we've tackled some pretty heavy issues. And you stayed with us. You didn't. And a lot of those issues were right in your backyard. And so I appreciate your efforts. You really supported us as staff, and we appreciate that. I really like your attitude towards life. I think it's great. We'll miss your personality. It's nice to have you around because we're always giving a laugh here and there. It's good. I'm excited that you and your wife have some great opportunities coming forward, and so we wish you luck there. And I just wanted to thank you a real lot for being on the commission and for all you've done. And we've got you a little something here.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure to serve with all of you. I appreciate the people that work for the city and the people of the city. So, thank you.
I think that was all the speech we're going to get.
Can't you tell us about something new that you don't have to kill us after?
I've been.
How about we get maybe we could ask for a street update if there's a street in the city that's not tore up.
Well, that's hard too.
I was gonna ask Mr. Dudley when he was at the microphone. Are you gonna tear that street up to get that in this year? Let's do it right away.
Yeah.
No, first you pave it and then you tear it up.
Yeah. I guess that tells you there's progress.
It is.
That's good.
What's the anticipated completion date in Orem on the BRT?
Next year.
Yeah, next year.
Okay, they don't have any time certain.
I'm sure they're shooting towards a date. I don't remember. Do you remember?
Yeah, they announced today in a meeting that they're shooting for August of next year.
Is that the complete BRT or just the Orem section you're talking about?
The complete.
That it's up and functioning.
If every star comes in alignment throughout the rest of the by August of next year.
We're talking 2027 then? Is that
2018.
That's if we don't have a hurricane or a flood.
Yeah, again,
or an earthquake.
All of the stars come in alignment. That's the projected date.
That will be about the time you come back.
Yeah, I'll come back to a city that's functioning. I just meant roads, not anything else. Jeez.
No, then they'll start Center Street or 16th North.
Anything.
Some future traffic upgrade.
When does the study on 1600 North start, Paul?
1600 North study is we have money for federal funding to do a study next year to determine how the street is going to be widened. Once we figure out how the street is going to be widened and come up with a plan, whether it's widen it all to the north, widen it all to the south, widen it a little bit on the north and a little bit on the south. You know, there's multiple options that we're going to have to look at and go through with the people who live on the corridor, go through an environmental clearance process. After we're through with that and adopt an alignment for the widening, then we have some money to start buying property from willing sellers. We do not have construction money to widen the road. We're just trying to get a plan of how it's going to be widened in the future. And then if there are people who are in hardship situations or just willing sellers, then we'll have some money to be able to start buying some property. But we can't buy property until we have a plan.
Has there been funding approved to finalize the study on tracks coming down State Street?
No, actually, that's a plan that MAG tells us that we're going to be included in a transit study. Let me back up. There's already been a transit study done by MAG, who is our federal funding source for the North County.
Right.
They're projecting that next year they're going to finish a study for the South County, which I think a lot of our transit planning issues are going to be addressed in that South County planning study.
Hey, the widening of 1600 North, back to that, is that State Street west towards the freeway, or are we looking at all of 16?
West of State Street.
I assumed that, because that seems to be the jam.
I thought on the MAG plan it shows it coming across to what would be 400 West, up by the new What is
Well, on our master plan, all of 1600 North and all of 800 East eventually gets widened to a 5-lane arterial, minor arterial. But I'll probably be long gone and dead before all of that happens. But again, we're focusing on where the biggest need is right now, west of State Street on 1600 North. As soon as we adopt a plan for that, then we'll probably find some other street in the city and say, okay, how do we develop a plan for that section? What that section is, whether that's 12th West or 1600 North or whatever other street, we don't know yet.
Okay. Exciting.
So one other thing, last Thursday, I don't know if any of you heard about it, the city had along with, who's the organization, Kirby, that we did Day of Caring? United Way. Oh. Hello. Along with United Way, the city did a Day of Caring, and we were able to do a lot of good work in the city. So a lot of the city employees got dressed in their grubbies and went out, and we helped a couple elderly people sparse up their homes, paint their homes, clean up their yards. We went to a lot of our schools, helped repaint their striping on their hopscotch and volleyball and all that stuff in their thing. We worked on the court building. If you notice over here, all the old ugly shrubs are gone, and we're doing some nice landscaping there. What other projects, Kirby? Yeah, but it was pretty good. It was good for the city employees to get out half a day, and it was amazing from seeing these, especially the houses that we were on, to see the transformation that just in a half a day that occurred, and they were very appreciative, and it was kind of fun.
That's great.
Last year, the Day of Caring, I knew all about it, and this year it came and went, and I didn't even know what was good because they were working on the park and other projects and things. That's good to know.
Okay, I did my best to get you to the...
I'd like to commend you because you did it. You were successful. You can go home and feel good today. Okay, one more item. Item 4.1, which is a public hearing on an ordinance. Does anybody need to introduce that, or can I just take care of this? Okay. It's an ordinance amendment and rezone amending Article 22-11 by enacting Section 2211-62 PD 49 zone. And it's recommended that that be continued to November 15th, 2017, a Planning Commission meeting on that date. I will make that motion that we do so, that we continue that item. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Cochran seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Thank you. And before we adjourn, we all thank you, as Mr. Ball did.
It's been enjoyable, guys.
It's been great. Okay.
Rain me in.
There was a second over here, right?
I thought you wanted to come, Nick.
Mr. Cochran seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
And no one will be opposed.
Depending on